Adventure number 5 starts
now. I'm here at the Blueberry Patch Campground. This is on Picnic Area Road in the Finger Lakes National Forest. It's the only national forest in New York State. Gonna go on a little hike today. I think it's gonna turn out to be about 3.5 miles or so. I was here and did this same hike quite a while ago. It was back in June of 2018. And at that time, I saw and added a couple of birds to my photo life list, the Savannah sparrow and the bobolink. So who knows what's in store for us today. It's quite a cold morning to start, but things are supposed to warm up. Let's see what we find. The topic of today's video is, how do we know when a photo shoot is over? Now you may have heard that they say a real photographer, a real artist can take any object or any scene and find a way to make a compelling photograph. And for the most part, I think that is true. But can that go on forever? Do we carry our camera 24/7, 365 and constantly look for ways to make photographs? That doesn't seem very realistic. So how do we know when we're done? How do we know when the photo shoot is over? For this shot, I'm going to be shooting right back into the sun, so I'm not sure what we're going to get here, but I like the rail and post fence that we have here. I like seeing down the hills and the snow off in the distance. So we're going to give it a shot and we'll see what happens. If it turns out okay, I'll flash it up on the screen for you. One way you may know that your photo shoot is over is if you happen to be out on a photo hike and you come to the end of the trail. Well, if you've come to the end of the trail, then you have reached the destination and the photo shoot is probably over. You're usually ready to hop back into the car and move on. Another way that you may know that your photo shoot is over is if you have some other obligations to attend to. So you'll have to plan to get your photo shoot over in time so that you can then move on to your next activity. So we're out of the trees now, crossing this field. And as you can see, they've had a fair bit of snow here, several inches. Back at home, we've had a few snowstorms, but it's only resulted in a dusting of snow that has quickly melted. Here, probably due to higher elevation, they've received a few inches. It does make for some slow going with the walking. I mentioned that it had been quite a few years since I've been here, 2018, and I was only here the one time, but it looks like our trail will now take us across the snow-covered road here, and then we'll have a turnaround about another 3/4 of a mile ahead. Another thing that can stop your photo shoot, whether you want it to or not, are internal or external forces. Some external forces could be things like weather, or possibly a slip or a fall while you're walking. And these can certainly disrupt your inspiration and your ability to find photographs. Some internal forces that can happen is something you might see or feel that just disrupts what you're doing, taking you out of the zone and making it very difficult for you to see any more photographs. And here we are coming up to our turn. We want to make a right turn onto the Interloken trail, and that will take us back in the direction we want to go. A small disruption to our trail. A tree which is 2 feet or more in diameter at its base has been cracked, probably blown over by the wind, and it has brought down at least one other tree with it, but easy enough to get around. So we emerge from the trees again. We'll be able to cross that same field that we crossed earlier. Now I know the name is Finger Lakes National Forest, forest implying trees, but my recollection of this hike from the last time, I've been in the trees much more than I recalled. I thought more of the walk, more of the hiking was going to be out in the fields, but there you go. Memory does not always work as well as we would like it to. The final scenario I can think of for ending a photo shoot, and maybe this only happens to me, I don't know, but sometimes when I'm out and I take a photograph that I am so excited about, I just can't wait to get it back home, get it on the computer, take a look at it, and try to work some magic with it, that sometimes that can disrupt my inspiration to be able to see other beautiful shots around me. So I've mentioned inspiration on a few of these videos, and it really is something that you have to have, I think, to really go out and be able to search for and find those compelling photographs that you want to take. And sometimes that disruption of your inspiration can cut the photo shoot short, but just remember, there's always another day, there's always more inspiration. Well, I finally found some inspiration for me. As I'm approaching the field, I've come across these trees. I really like the shapes of them and the gnarled branches, and we'll see if we can work out a nice composition here. So I think this is the place from where I will take the shot. I want to be able to get an angle so that I can have all those nice branches isolated up against the sky. Let's see what happens. So I've got that nice gnarled tree on the left-hand side of the photo with the fallen tree leading off and pointing off to the right side of the photo. Shooting at f11. We'll see what happens. I mentioned in an earlier video how I was using the back button focus, and I was trying to see how that technique would fit into my workflow, and I've been using it more and more over the last month or so, and I'm really starting to embrace it, definitely for the landscape photography, and it's working very nicely on this shot. Here we are at a junction of two trails. The ravine trail goes off to the left, and when I was here 6 years ago, I believe I extended my hike by going down the ravine trail. But for today, I believe I will just stay on the Interloken trail and follow that back to Picnic Area Road, which will take me right back to the car. There's our path. I have emerged from the Interloken Trail back out onto Picnic Area Road, and it should just be a short walk down the road now to get back to the car. When is your photo shoot over? Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No, but it can't last forever. When you get that wave of inspiration, you need to ride it for as long as you can and keep chasing great photographs. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll join me on the next adventure.